Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
We just managed to get off playing one of the most anticipated PSVR titles of this year, and that is Ace Combat 7
Skies Unknown. We did not plan that at all. That just happened.
Not at all. It's a thing we do. So we're really excited to tell you about it because we can't actually get any footage of it. The booth guy basically said there was no recording to be done. We weren't allowed to do over-the-shoulder recording or Elgato.
We could shoot us playing it, but nothing of the screen.
Yeah, you can get our reactions, which is not as fun, admittedly. But at the same time, we figured that we would come right off of playing it and just kind of tell you about the experience. Because both of us got to play through a pretty good demo play session.
It's a 10-minute demo.
And we had a lot of questions. We were on r/PSVR and we kind of posted it up, said, hey, this booth is here. And then they were just like asking, like, oh, you know, how long is the game and what controllers can you use? And there was all these things fluttering
that we probably won't, we don't know the answers to.
We don't have those answers, but we can tell you about our experience.
Gameplay impressions.
So I got to play first.
Let's talk about the mission first. The story.
Sure.
It's a demo, so there's no real story to it. But you start out on the aircraft carrier, and you are looking at your airplane to get into it, and then you're ready to launch off the back of a carrier. You have you, and then you have your friend to the right, and then your friend takes off, and then you take off. Then initial takeoff, I did not have much inertia going on with that one. I didn't have much motion sickness.
It's kind of interesting because when you're there and you see your buddy to your right-hand side that's about to take off, when he takes off, it seems like he's going at a ridiculously fast speed.
Those things do go ridiculously fast.
I'm sure they do, but like I think you are quite significantly slower
to make you not throw
forward. So like you see this guy just kind of like right past you, and then you're like, oh my god, here we go, and you get the jitters.
Did you wave to the guy that was pulling you into place? Because I might have actually waved to him.
I didn't do that. No.
I was like, hi, buddy.
But no, the initial takeoff is smooth. There is no inertia. There's no kind of stomach drops or like head tilts backs or whatever.
I tried. I pushed against the seat and it didn't.
The seat was comfortable. I like the seat. It was a flight seat.
Yeah.
It does.
You get one of those.
When you look down in your cockpit area, you do see a stick. Like so, we were thinking it might actually be really fun to play with a HOTAS flight stick. But we were playing with a DS4 controller. As far as what buttons and things like that, you had L2 and R2 where you kind of take off and slow down stuff.
Tom didn't know about the brakes.
You had yaw, which was
rotating left and right.
That's plain for left and right. You had
versus a rotation
machine gun. You had
two types of missiles.
Yeah, some missiles, bunch of stuff going on.
And the gameplay itself was a wave-based shooter. Is the best way to describe it.
Well, the demo was a wave.
Yeah, the wave-based.
I mean, the full game might be different, but the demo was basically a couple missions that were wave-based shooters.
I got to a UAV that was shooting me. That was scary. They were apparently bigger and badder. I couldn't tell because I couldn't see them. They were so small. You just focus on just the square and hitting it. Let's talk a little bit about visuals because. To me, visually, it was, especially the cockpit, was stunning. Yep. Anything outside the cockpit was all right, but I really didn't care because the inside is what I looked at. I kind of
liked the ground. I mean, I liked the initial launch part where you're kind of looking around your cruiser ship and everything, and also when you're when you could see some of the land below you and some of like the islandy area.
But in flight they put, from a details perspective, they put more detail into the stuff that was immediately around you, and it made way more sense because
to be fair, a lot of the other things that you're seeing in that game are sky and clouds
and suns.
So yeah, no, I totally get it.
It was cool though. I didn't realize there was a piece of land below us until I flew over, and I was like, oh, there's an island.
Yeah, don't crash. I will say that there was some neat touches in there as well that I wasn't expecting. Like when I accidentally dipped through a cloud, I did notice that my sort of windshield had filled up with condensation.
It's a canopy. It's a canopy,
nice,
Tom.
Whatever. It was a nice touch having the condensation there, and then it kind of like brushed. Obviously, you're in a plane, so it goes away pretty fast. But the combat felt pretty smooth. I was chasing my tail a lot because I'm just not very good at flight games. You did way better.
Yeah. So the controls were a bit wonky because the left stick is up and down, and then you had to use yaw to kind of rotate left and right, but then you also had rotation to turn. Like
whenever you say yaw, I feel like you're like, I'm going left, yaw.
Yaw, I'm going left. But once I figured out that when you hit the brakes, you turn sharper, or because I did a lot of these loop around things, you'd loop up and then spin around.
Yeah, I did that.
When you hit the brakes, you turn a lot sharper than you did before. So it would help be able to catch back up. So I could easily, because initially what was happening to me is I would target a guy, he would go shoom, and he'd be gone.
Yeah.
So what I learned to do is I would go up to him, I'd target him, he'd go shoom, and I would slow down, and I could spin around faster and tail him.
Right.
Once I figured that out, then I started nailing a lot more of them. And the missile lock-on was pretty good. There's a few times I felt like it should have hit, and it didn't. But
They were sneaky.
The controls were solid for a flight simulator. It's about what I expected. Like you said, if we can get a stick of some sort, I think that'd be perfect for this.
Yeah, I think if you guys were thinking about playing this with the HOTUS, if you have one already, or if you're planning on picking one up, then this is really the perfect game.
But it was fine with it. It was great with the DualShock. I didn't have any complaints with the DualShock, but I think it'd be better with a stick.
It just depends on how immersed, I guess, you want to get into the title.
Yes.
So graphic fidelity, really good. I would put it up there. Resident Evil levels of graphical fidelity. I think
it's one of the
really
best ones.
Done.
Farpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the gameplay itself. I mean, we only played a demo. Remember, we don't actually know how much of the full game is going to be down to like actual VR. So that much we can't really.
They have said the whole game is not going to be, but I don't think they've said how much.
We don't know like how big the sections are that are.
But what we just played was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was only about 10 minutes or so, but it was a good time. And again, this is just the demo. So considering this is just the demo, if they do get more chance to polish it up even further, I can
or if they could put it on the store,
yeah, that
would be really cool.
Yeah.
This felt like a complete demo.
I think that if they put this on the store, that they would have a lot of people that would be pre-ordering this game.
Like me. Like, it was one of those things where, like, again, I had didn't really want to buy this game. I didn't have any desire to.
Wasn't on your radar.
Playing, yeah, no pun intended. But after playing this, like, I really want to. I'm gonna wait to see how much of it is VR because I don't know how much I'd play it non-VR.
Right.
But if they say, hey, there's gonna be 30 VR missions or whatever the number is,
right,
however long it is of a 7-hour game, maybe 3 hours is VR. Cool. Or 2 hours, even 2 hours. Like, the experience was cool enough for me that it would be great. Like the add-on in Star Wars. Like, that was a cool mission. If they have more than just one mission, if it's like 4, 5, 6 of them, it's a no-brainer. If it's like 2 of them, it's a wait and see, maybe a sale type thing for me. Because assuming it's going to be full price as Bandai Namco.
So I guess a lot of the outcome of this depends on how much of it does end up in full VR.
But the VR that is there is fantastic.
Say that the VR portion of Ace Combat 7 unequivocally is very, very good.
Yes. Good job, Bandai.
So that's
Namco.
basically our roundup of kind of the experience. We will talk about it a little bit more on Codename as soon as we get back in the studio for that. But we just wanted to give you our first impressions, having come freshly off the game, literally like 5 minutes or so ago. So
I'm still pumped. Like, I literally, you can see the blood going. Dude, it was
like pumping fists and all kinds of stuff.
Because I killed things.
Yeah,
I killed things.
So anyway, that's our roundup of Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. We wish you could have footage to show for you, but we do have experiences to show for you. So hopefully that's enough for now. But look forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
Stand right there. Thank you.
Here you go.
Oh, hell yeah. I don't want that game right. Alright, we need more of that.
It's coming out on PlayStation and Xbox.
So let's go set up somewhere and do it.
Oh gosh. I forgot I was in the middle of the convention center.